Hey, what's going on everyone? Tyler here. Now, if you're new to my channel, I have over 10 years experience in the field of IT and cybersecurity, and I'll be teaching you everything that you need to know to be successful, to get a job in this field, to work remote, and make a ton of money doing so. Now, today we're starting with the basics. We're talking about hypervisors, and specifically the difference between a Type 1 and a Type 2 hypervisor, and which you'll want to set up for your home lab. Now, if you don't know what a home lab is or why you need one, be sure to keep watching. I'm going to have even more videos in the future that we're going to dive in. We're going to set up a lab. We're going to set up an environment, do all sorts of testing. But it's critical to building the skills that you need to be successful in this field. All right, so check it out. You've got two types of hypervisors. The first one being a Type 1, and it's also known as a bare metal hypervisor. And you'll have a couple products out there that allow you to create a bare metal hypervisor, a couple products being VMware ESXi and Xen. So what the hypervisor is essentially doing, it's essentially a piece of software, and it takes physical resources like RAM, CPU, and a hard drive and virtualizes it to create these virtual machines here. So Windows, Linux, Mac, you'll see the VRAM, vCPU, that's just showing you that, hey, those resources are now virtualized. So that's a Type 1 hypervisor. If we scroll over to the second one here, a Type 2 hypervisor, also known as a hosted hypervisor. Now, there's some products out there, VMware Workstation, VirtualBox, and others that allow you to have a Type 2 hypervisor. And this is doing the same thing. You know, you got your physical resources, your RAM, CPU, and hard drive, but you're running an operating system on it. So honestly, where you're going to see this is like on your desktop, on your laptop. You know, you've got hardware, you have your operating system running on it, and then on top of that, you have a hypervisor. So your operating system is now running the hypervisor, which is virtualizing those resources that we talked about. So in this case, you know, my main operating system is a Mac, and I'm virtualizing a Linux OS and then a Windows OS. So that's a Type 2 hypervisor. All right, so that's the difference between a Type 1 and a Type 2 hypervisor. Now, which one that you want to use for your home lab, completely up to you. Now, I would recommend that if you have a dedicated PC or a server, you'll want to do a Type 1 hypervisor. And the reason for that is your virtual machine performance is generally better because it's able to talk directly to the hardware. But if you don't have a dedicated machine or a server laying around, you know, more than likely you're using the PC that you use for work, for gaming, things like that. You'll want to run a Type 2 hypervisor. It's going to run just fine, but you know, one of the reasons why the performance isn't as good as a Type 1 is because of the operating system. The operating system is using some of the resources, and it's acting as a middleman to run your hypervisor and also the virtual machines. But again, either one is going to be fine, and more than likely with your scenario, you'll be running a Type 2 hypervisor. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to give me a thumbs up below if you enjoyed the content. If you want to see more videos on how you can be successful in the field of IT and cybersecurity, be sure to subscribe.